Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we're going to be checking out the 10 largest LEGO sets in the world. Sitting in spot number 10 is the Hogwarts Castle. It's not a small set by no means. It has 6,020 pieces and was released in 2018. It has 4 minifigures. Those are the founders of Hogwarts. They sit on this little display stand there, and they have some stickered elements below them with the crests from their houses. Unfortunately, those are not print. Also comes with some micro scale minifigures, 24 of them, just because this is a micro scale build despite its massive size. You get some other micro builds over here, such as the Whomping Willow and also Hagrid's hut, 5 boats, and above the Great Hall you'll see some more micro figures, and those are the Dementors, along with the Hungarian Horntail on the tallest tower. This build can actually be split into 2 sections. It's held loosely together by some Technic pins, and this bridge does connect when the 2 halves are together. This build is absolutely stunning, and it looks beautiful when it's on display. The whole castle is actually raised up on these rock panels in dark tan, and those are covered in little mini tree builds and also slopes and sheet slopes of all different colors. It has the Great Hall right here, a large tower in the center, and the top of that tower you'll see Dumbledore's office when we flip it around, and then some of the dorms over here, and once again that bridge actually connects the 2 halves. This tower is absolutely massive. I actually can't even wrap my hand around it, and I really like this open space in the center. Despite it being micro scale, the interior details are pretty good. I like these stained glass windows found throughout. Over here we have a call to the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone, in the first movie or book. And then we also have Dolores Umbridge's office up here, along with the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. On the base of the large tower, we have the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets, and then all sorts of portraits around the staircases, the moving staircases, leading all the way up to Dumbledore's office. And on the bottom over here, we have the Chamber of Secrets with the snake that represents the basilisk. And that, of course, is right below the Great Hall, which actually showcases the floating house flags, some nice stained glass windows, and of course the large tables. Not bad for number 10. There's definitely a lot more that I could say about the Hogwarts Castle, but we've got lots to cover. Coming in at number 9 is the brand new 2023 Ninjago City Markets. It is 6,163 pieces and has 21 minifigures. This is definitely a very impressive set. It is the largest Ninjago set ever produced. It has lots of moving features, such as this gondola, which can move between the 2 buildings when I crank this Technic piece on the left side here behind this cherry blossom tree. It's the first gondola ever produced with LEGO. I really love the bridge that goes over top of the water down here. There's also some more moving features, such as this wheelchair lift right here, and also the walkway, which can actually be lifted up as well, just to accommodate that gondola there. There's one other moving feature, and we'll get to that in one moment here. Just note the colors and the building styles found in this set. It is very impressive. And of course it pairs up with the other 3 Ninjago sets just beautifully. That's Ninjago City, the docks, and also the gardens. The other moving feature is found in this little yellow structure right up top here, which is just across the way from the sushi shop, and that is an actual working toilet. It's actually the first ever working toilet, and it's really easy to use. You just load a couple of circular 1x1 brown tiles in there, and the seat was actually created using a new modified 2x6 plate, and then you push the flusher on the left hand side of the toilet, and it should come right out the bottom there. It is just a brilliant working function, and I love this set because of its building style and just because of those moving features as well. It is incredible. What a great addition to the top 10 list here in 2023. With 4 more pieces than Ninjago City Markets, that's 6,167, another set from 2023 is to be noted, and that is the LEGO Lord of the Rings Rivendell. It also comes with 21 fantastic minifigures. The minifig lineup in this set is incredible. Wow, Lord of the Rings, it's back in 2023. We better hope that we get some more smaller sets. This one is quite expensive and it is very large, but spectacular to say the least. The build splits into 3 different sections. The first section has this beautiful tower, and around the base of that tower we have some new minifigs, which are statues, and those are included in that minifig count. Really like the way those are framed around the base of the tower, and then inside the first section here we actually have Frodo's bedroom. And you might recognize a couple things that are pretty familiar in the crate beside Frodo's bed. On the right hand side we have another section that features a arched bridge going over top of a river, a really nice gazebo, some new tree styles which are fantastic, and underneath the gazebo is actually a blacksmith and also an armory. And there's all sorts of new weapons that were made for this set as well. The center section is absolutely beautiful. It has this stunning tree that droops over top of the council ring, and this is where it all took place, the Fellowship of the Ring. Got some incredible looking chairs there and some really nice printed pieces. And guess who has an eye on this scene? It's an Easter egg that's actually found underneath it. It's the eye of Sauron. There's all sorts of Easter eggs found throughout this set, such as the elvish bread in that little sheltered area. This tree is magnificent, and there's a lot of great sticker elements found throughout as well. And then right here we have the shards of Narsil, which actually sit above Elrond's study. These new printed tile pieces are absolutely beautiful, and all of the architecture work found throughout this set is magnificent. Without question, this was one of the best LEGO sets of all time. It is absolutely stunning, and you know what? Putting the roof tiles on actually wasn't too bad. We've got our first Star Wars set at spot number 7 with 6,187 pieces. It is the UCS Razor Crest. It comes with 4 minifigures which can be displayed with the specifications plaque. That's the Mandalorian, Grogu, a Mithril, and also Queel, who comes with a buildable blurg. Okay, this is one of the most impressive UCS sets. Like, it is just massive. It's crazy. It's just so like robust and just demands attention. It just displays so well. Like, look at those thrusters. Once again, just like the Hogwarts Tower, I can't even wrap my hand around those thrusters. It is just so big. The engines or thrusters can actually be removed from the ship, and they are just so detailed. And when you remove those, of course, you can see inside the ship as well. And you can actually remove a few other things, such as the front window glass here. That's all one component. And then you can also remove that there. And I think this piece will come off as well. Indeed. And then you can see all of the interior details, such as the carbonite freezing chamber, some pieces of carbonite, some bounties that the Mandalorian captured, and also a very detailed cockpit there. And the back section of the cockpit or cabin can also be removed to reveal some more interior details within the ship. So it's just so cool how you can access the interior and how this massive build breaks down into different sections. I absolutely despise the stickers on the side because they are literally a different color than the Lego and honestly just don't look very good at all. I almost feel like peeling mine off, not that I'm going to do that, but we have some very robust landing gear on the bottom here as well. The back section of the ship here can actually be removed as well. I don't really see that being necessary because it doesn't really reveal anything, but you can see that it's only held on by 4 of the 1x2 jumpers. There are a couple more movable features on this set, such as the escape pod, which is actually mounted between the 2 thrusters, and you can actually open that up and it can fit a minifigure inside. And then we can also open up the rear hatch as well. That will just pop open like that there. So a pretty wicked set. It just looks good from all angles, and the way that this thing was created was just mind-blowing. Okay, I'm a sucker for big sets, but this one here at spot number 6 with 6,785 pieces, it's the LEGO Star Wars, the UCS AT-AT Walker, might be too big. This thing is absolutely gigantic. making it pretty difficult to display, but luckily it does fit on the Billy shelves. That's actually the bookshelf from IKEA. That's mainly what we use here in the Lego room, but it is just huge. You can see the size of the head and the body. With that said, it is really well done. It is pretty sturdy, and you can actually move the legs. In order to do that, you have to use this handy dandy Lego screwdriver, that's what I'll call it, I guess, that comes with the set, and then you can actually articulate these legs. It is crazy though. The whole interior opens up so you can fit the 9 minifigures that it comes with inside, and you can also buy additional snowtroopers and load the interior of the body full of minifigures as well. I haven't really been talking about prices, but these Star Wars ones are pretty expensive. The UCS Razor Crest retails for $600 and the AT-AT retails for a whopping $850 US. Whereas some of the smaller ones, well, not small by no means, actually just slightly smaller, I guess, Rivendell retails for $500, and then Ninjago City Markets retails for $370, and Hogwarts $470. So as you can see, piece count does not really determine the cost of these Lego sets. You can access the interior details a couple different ways. First off, you can just hinge these open to reveal all of the snowtroopers within. And on this side, we actually have a couple speeder bikes and also the engine of the AT-AT. Or you can also remove the side panels altogether to reveal all of the interior seating. Mine isn't quite full, but I could probably fill it based on the minifigures that I have. I opened this up and I was surprised to see that my AT-AT drivers and Maximilian Veers was not inside. And then of course one more minifigure that we have ascending into the belly of the AT-AT is Luke Skywalker. There we go, much better. Now I've got my crew back in the AT-AT. You know what, to tell you the truth, I've always been a little bit sketched out by this thing. It's just so top heavy. Yes, the legs are very sturdy, but there's just so many moving parts on the head that like to come apart. And also you can like turn the neck of it by turning this piece up here, but the range of motion is honestly just a bit sketchy. And also there are connected blasters on the bottom here of the head, but I don't think there's a way to actually operate those anywhere other than just moving them back and forth by hand. But yeah, I've always just been a little bit sketched out by this thing, just because once again, it's almost too big. What a way to celebrate the halfway point of this video. It's the LEGO Star Wars UCS Millennium Falcon from 2017 with 7,541 pieces. A retail price of $850 US. This thing is absolutely huge and is highly praised by a lot of LEGO Star Wars fans. It is for sure a ton of people's favorite Lego set of all time. It is just so detailed and has so much greebling, and of course it's a reproduction of a set that was extremely popular. The UCS Millennium Falcon from years ago was very hard to get, so when this came out in 2017, it was extremely hyped, and there were a lot of excited people to see a reissue of this bad boy. It also comes with 8 minifigures, 2 different versions of Han Solo and also Leia, Chewbacca, C-3PO, Rey, Finn. Then you also get BB-8, 2 Porgs, and also the Mynock on the top of the ship. It comes with 2 different generations of minifigures, and you can also switch up the ship. This is the original radar dish, which is printed, and you can also switch it up for this Lego built one as well, which represents the Millennium Falcon found in the newer movies. The ship's landing gear consists of 7 feet, and on the underside of the Millennium Falcon, we also have 2 turrets. The cockpit has 2 different printed elements and is very spacious. It can fit lots of minifigures inside, and some of these panels can actually be removed to reveal some of the interior details of the Millennium Falcon. The first one is this round one that has the turret on top, and that reveals the gunner seat within. Honestly, no matter how many times I move this thing around, examine it, or film videos on it, I could never remember what other panels can be removed because they just blend in so perfectly with the ship. And for that reason, I've always hesitated to open it up because, to be honest with you, it is pretty fragile. Moving this thing can be pretty sketchy, and you don't want to pull on the wrong panel like I did, right? And accidentally remove a whole section and be like, oh no, how do I reattach that? So although this ship is amazing and looks spectacular, it is very hard to move, and you just have to be very careful with it, because repairing things like this when there's so many pieces that look so similar to each other can be rather difficult. But in here we have all sorts of different accessories and details, such as the hyperdrive components there, I believe, and also the game over here that Chewbacca loves to play, and then other interior details. It's not really a huge interior. It is sort of lacking, but the structure inside is pretty crazy, and this thing is absolutely massive. It's not something that I'm like, oh yeah, it has the best interior in the planet, and that's why you should get it. Although this hallway here with sort of the forced perspective sticker is pretty neat. But yeah, I definitely think the interior is slightly lacking. And I'm also not a huge fan of things like this. Honestly, I think those stickers sort of take away from the set. But I mean, in the end, it is pretty easy to put back together, and this thing is absolutely magnificent. And the icing on the cake is this ribbed tubing back here, which represents the thruster. It would be pretty neat to run some LED lights through there and light it up. In spot number 4, we have the Roman Coliseum, which was issued in 2020. It has 9,036 pieces and a retail price of $550. This set looks very presentable, and it's a micro scale just like the Hogwarts Castle. And look at that, it's actually the same color as well. It was very repetitive. There are a lot of the same pieces and a lot of the same sort of building steps in this set. Very repetitious, but the way that they were able to create this oval shape using a square or rectangular building system was pretty amazing. And out front here we have some of the micro scale details, such as the trees, people, and vehicles. And I've got to say that the base of it was pretty interesting to build as well. It has all of these slopes on the exterior of it, and inside there are a bunch of the 16 by 16 large Technic panels that you'd find in the art sets in an interesting color, which is olive. You can see some of the interior detail here, and the floor that has actually been rebuilt in modern time to represent what it would look like. The power of ball joints is real with this set. That oval shape is spectacular. And the back side of it, I think, looks better than the front of it. I just love all of the masonry bricks and these candlesticks in the dark tan and all the different parts that were used to create a very detailed Colosseum. It would be neat to see the Colosseum built not as it is today, but as it was in its prime. That would be super cool in Lego form. They would, of course, never give us that. But I think this set is good for what it is, but it's not the most exciting build that we're having to look at here today. Bringing out the 4th table for this countdown, we have the 3rd largest Lego set in the world, which is the Titanic. This one here has a whopping 9,090 pieces and was released in 2021 with a suggested retail price of $680. This thing here is an absolute masterpiece, and it is the longest Lego set in the world. To tell you the truth, this set here doesn't even look like Lego. They have disguised this to look like a model of the Titanic. I've classified it to be my favorite Lego set of all time, because when I first started collecting Lego, I was like, I wonder if they've made a Titanic, and I searched and I searched and I couldn't find anything other than custom builds that people had done. And then many years later, I was a Lego ambassador, they actually sent me a Titanic early to reveal and review. It was amazing, and I was absolutely blown away by this set. I've always wanted one, and here we have it. And you know what? It's actually very easy to take apart, and when it's a solid unit like this, it's very easy to move around. It's very solid. And how you take it apart is you just remove these pieces here, which have some Technic axles, and those run through some modified plates, which then connect the 2 different points there. And once you pull those out, you're able to very easily just split it apart, the front there, and also at the back. Well, in some cases you actually need 2 hands, specifically here, because you have these detailed engines, which actually move when you spin this little gear here. You can see those pistons moving in and out of those barrels, and also that powers these screws or propellers at the back of the ship. And in the cross sections here, you can see some micro scale interior details. And these are those modified pieces that those Technic axles run through. And then something famous and iconic to the Titanic is actually the swimming pool that is found inside the ship as well. And also the grand staircase and dining hall. The world's longest set is followed up by none other than the world's tallest Lego set, which was actually released last year and has 10,001 pieces. It retails for $630, and it is absolutely gigantic. It towers over me, that's for sure, and so it should. The Eiffel Tower, everybody, almost touches the ceiling when it's on my table here. Overall, this is a really interesting build. It is a masterpiece, but it is the most repetitive set that I have ever built. All of the truss work is the same, repeating the same thing over and over and over again, hundreds and hundreds of times to create these large trusses that then build this tower. As you can imagine, that is a lot of repetition, and that's the last time I'm going to say it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it does look spectacular. The thing is you need to find a home for it as well. Being this tall, like, it is just hard to position. It does have some micro scale details down at the bottom here, such as these street lamps, benches, bushes, and also trees. Just for fun, I want to measure the longest and tallest Lego sets. We've got the Titanic here, which is 53 inches or 135 centimeters long. And larger than that, we have the Eiffel Tower, which is absolutely ridiculous. As you come up here, note the part usage with the hot dogs and also the bucket handles. And then we have the flag of France there. But it measures 59 inches or 150 centimeters tall. That is absolutely insane. And the Eiffel Tower can be split into 4 different sections. So we have the base with the 4 large legs, the midsection, the upper section, and then down here we have the tip with the flag of France. Now, one thing I will say is when you're handling this, this likes to shift around a bit. So yeah, you just got to be careful that you don't make it crooked. And there is also an elevator detail that runs through the center of the Eiffel Tower, and that actually starts way down here. So overall, a crazy, huge set that displays very well, but it is very repetitious. So everybody, that leaves us with number 10, which is actually the world map. The world map comes with 11,695 pieces. It was released in 2021, and it has a retail price of $250. It actually uses 40 of the 16 by 16 plates. Crazy, hey? It's 5 tall by 8 long. And these plates are then covered in studs and tiles. It's covered in exactly 10,240 studs and tiles. A lot of these pieces that come with the set aren't actually used because it comes with additional pieces so you can customize it. And then, of course, you build the white frame that goes around the world map as well. Overall, I don't think that this should be included in the top 10 because it is art, but it is technically a Lego set, so it is the world's largest Lego set. I was curious to see all 10 of the world's largest Lego sets together, so I moved the world map over here on my desk. And you know what? With the addition of the Ninjago City Markets, I have the top 10, which is insane to think. Prior to this, it was the Taj Mahal in spot number 10, and that's what's currently in spot number 11. And I still think it belongs here in the top 10 largest Lego sets of all time, but here we have the world map. You want to hear a crazy number? How many parts do you think are on this table here? All of these sets combined equals 78,685 pieces. And the crazy thing to think about is actually all of these sets are available for purchase right now from the LEGO Group. That means all of the sets on this table have been released in the last short while. And if you were to buy them all today in US dollars, it is a staggering $5,750 to acquire the 10 largest LEGO sets ever produced. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed my video, my brief overview of all of these sets here. What an amazing collection. I am super excited and super fortunate to have all of these in my collection. And it is insane. I cannot wait to see what the LEGO Group comes out with as we move forward into the future. Let me know what your favorite set is out of the top 10 by commenting below. Remember to have yourselves a great day. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for some more great stuff. And farewell.